Virtually all engagements in AX combat require some kind of ammo or utility synthesis, that is, refilling ammo or a utility mid-fight in order to continue. In this video we will look at the material requirements for synthesis on the common AX loadout components and also where to find them and how to harvest them quickly. The most obvious starting point is the Gauss cannon, the de facto primary weapon against the Thargoids. Without this, the killing of Thargoids above Basilisk in strength could essentially not occur solo. Commanders can hold in reserve enough materials for 75 basic reloads, 40 standard reloads and 20 premium reloads. I've compiled the table seen here to illustrate the relationship between the materials required and how using up a load will affect the material reserves for other reloads. The materials highlighted in green are shared among all load types: manganese and focus crystals. Manganese is the only raw material needed for Gauss cannon synthesis of any kind. Guardian power conduits are highlighted orange as they are shared between basic and standard. Using up materials for one type of reload will affect the materials available for other types at a cost ratio very broadly provided at the bottom. The columns in the reload section show, in order, the cost of the material per reload, the maximum storage of that material type, the maximum number of reloads full storage will provide, and the amount of the material needed to have full reloads available. The relationship between loads and material usage is a little more complicated than it first appears though. The red boxes are the bottleneck material for each reload. Note how the other materials in each reload can provide more than the maximum number of reloads. This means that only one material caps the number of loads available. Using up focus crystals and manganese on other load types may not immediately drop the basic loads available, as the bottleneck is Guardian wreckage components. However, using a standard will immediately affect the number of premium loads available, as both share focus crystals as their bottleneck material. I will include a link to the tables I've created in the description. The next most important synthesis blueprint, and a far more simple one to illustrate, is heat sinks. Heat sinks allow us to remain cold while attacking, thus avoiding incoming fire from the Thargoid interceptor. Heat sinks use two of the lowest tier manufacturing materials, basic conductors and heat conducting wiring. With 300 of each, you can hold 150 heatsink reloads in reserve. Heatsink and Gauss cannon reloads are the only synth blueprints that need manufactured materials. From here on out, it's all raw materials. Next is flak ammunition. Flak is used exclusively in combating the swarm Thargoid interceptors create. 75 reloads can be held in reserve, and all materials are the most common type of raw materials: nickel, carbon and sulfur, with nickel being the bottleneck material. Next is limpets. Repair limpets allow you to regain hull integrity between attacking runs, vastly improving your survivability. A maximum of 30 reloads can be held, with each reload providing 4 limpets. Nickel and iron are both needed in a quantity of 300 to have this many reloads. Note that nickel is also shared with flak ammo as a requirement, so using a reload of either will affect the number the other has available. Finally, we have AFMU refills. The auto field maintenance unit is used to repair module integrity, allowing you greater survivability and to avoid module malfunctions during a fight. It also shares nickel as a requirement, so using a reload will affect both limpet and flak reloads available. The other requirements, zinc, chromium and vanadium, are grade 2 raw materials, with vanadium being the bottleneck at 83 reloads available. Now that we know all the essential blueprints, we can compile the material requirements into a table of their respective types: raw, manufactured and Guardian. The raw and manufactured materials can be traded down from high-grade materials at a material trader, so we only need to collect high-grade materials. The Guardian materials, though, require us to visit a Guardian ruin to collect, and we will run over a fast way of doing this. First though, let's look at how to quickly gather the raw and manufactured materials we need. As an aside, I would just like to point out that nobody enjoys this part of the game. If you are thinking to yourself this seems like a big hassle to be able to enjoy the fun parts of the game, you are absolutely correct. This is apparently the way Frontier wants us to do this though, and so we just have to grit our teeth and get through it. The first step in finding raw materials is finding a planet that has the materials you are looking for in its composition. The full spectrum scanner can provide this information. Ruthenium is the best high-grade material for our purposes, as it trades for manganese at a rate of 9-to-1. When we look at a planet in the FSS, we will see their composition information in the top right of the screen. We are looking for ruthenium in its makeup, and that it has either geological or biological features. Once we have found a suitable planet, we next need to complete a detailed surface scan by firing probes at the planet. This will reveal the location of the geological or biological sites. At the sites themselves, we can use our contacts list to find the high-grade spawns in the area. For biological sites, this is pholum extract, and for geological sites, this is needle crystals. If you're looking to just top up on basic materials while here, instead of going to a material trader, you can also harvest the other material drops, but it is always more efficient to just trade down for lesser materials than harvesting them directly.
Enjoy your stay at this facility.
By visiting a raw material trader, we can then down trade for everything on our material requirement list. To find your nearest raw material trader, I recommend external tools such as the website in Nara. Under the System and Stations tab, there is a tool called Nearest that can find almost any service and the nearest of them to your location. For manufactured materials, we again need the full spectrum scanner, but this time around we are looking for a signal source called high-grade emissions. These occur most commonly in high population systems currently in the boom state. We want to find a high-grade emission with at least 20 minutes remaining on its timer, visible in the top right of the screen. High-grade emissions drop grade 4 and 5 manufactured materials and can be farmed until full very quickly. On finding one, we head to the signal source. Make sure you have collector limpets and a controller on board, and upon arrival, deploy your limpets and open your cargo hatch.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone. Cargo scoop deployed.
Now, this part of the process is somewhat egregious, but once all the materials have been collected by your limpets, exit the game to the desktop. It is very important this is not just to the main menu, but actually out of the game itself. Relaunch the game and load back in. Then charge your frameshift drive. Use boost to get moving instead of your throttle.
Engage. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
When you get into Super Cruise, check your navigation panel. The signal source should still be there, directly behind you. You can now re-enter, have your limpets harvest the materials again, and repeat until your storage is full. Different system allegiances will drop different high-grade materials, and so visiting a Federation system and an Empire system is a surefire way to get all the manufactured materials you need to trade down. As with raw materials, a manufactured material trader can facilitate the trading down for what you need. The Guardian materials will require a lengthy trip of about 700 light years to one of the Guardian ruins. It is advisable to fit point defense to your ship to allow it to shoot down the missiles the Sentinels will launch. I have prepared a map of the particular site that I use, and you can see that here. This map is available in the description and shows the system and planet the site is located on, along with the key locations to find various materials. We'll do a run through with an overlay on the screen now, to give you an idea of the route to take for maximum efficiency, but I will outline the spawns for the 4 materials now. Guardian Sentinel weapon parts and Guardian wreckage components are exclusively dropped by Sentinels upon destruction. Guardian power conduits are dropped by Sentinels and also found in towers with destructible panels. Guardian technology components are found at 2 destructible panels shown as yellow dots on the map I provided. On this run, I am starting at the technology component at the bottom of the map. Make a note of the panel I destroy. Next we head to one of the Sentinel spawn zones, highlighted in red. Destroy the Sentinel and collect the materials. Next, there is a panel here that spawns a power conduit. Then on to the next Sentinel spawn location. Then I head past the main Guardian terminal to the next technology component panel. Again, note its location. Finally, over to the third Sentinel spawn. When the run is complete, just exit to the main menu and load back in. This will reset the site. When you have completed your run, you can self-destruct your ship to fast travel back to the last station you docked with. If you have a fleet carrier, I would suggest sending it off ahead of you so you can respawn aboard it at your destination. These are the steps you can follow to fill all your material requirements for AX combat. As I said, all resources will be available from the description below. If you found this video helpful, please consider visiting our Patreon page, linked in the description. Me and Will have recently set one up and are quite new to this, so it's a bit bare bones at the moment, but we have plans to expand our rewards in future. While Will works for a company, I am a freelance worker, and with the COVID-19 situation, work has been less frequent this summer than usual, so any support you provide is hugely appreciated. We have set up a Discord for supporters where you can request ship reviews or talk with us in more detail about any subjects we've covered or places we've visited, and we plan to mention supporters in our videos going forward. We will of course continue to put out new content on a regular basis, and we'd just like to thank every one of our subscribers for the support you've shown in being part of our audience. Fly safe, Commanders.